These short letters are intended to help speed up your writing. There is no special vocabulary, and as you know that the end is not far away, you are less likely to get discouraged on a fast attempt. These passages are short enough not to cause fatigue or discouragement, but just long enough so that you have to keep up with the speaker all the time. The aim is to finish writing at the same time that the speaker stops. Then you know you have achieved that speed, which is not quite the case if you were trailing far behind and continuing to write the final sentence from memory. The first meeting with a new outline needs careful, deliberate writing to ensure accuracy. But after those few seconds of writing it 3 or 4 times, it should never be written slowly again. A passage can be used in several ways to get the most benefit. You could first take it unseen from the recording provided, or for other random text, use a text-to-speech program, or record well in advance, so that the contents can be forgotten. This is the most lifelike version of practicing, not knowing what is coming next, and surviving the assault of unknown words having to be written without hesitation. What you are practicing is your reaction to the situation, rather than learning new outlines. After that, you can use the passages to improve your shorthand reading speed, going faster each time, and recording your own voice on the last attempt. Next, you can write the passages as many times as it takes to get it down smoothly, completely, and legibly. Anything that you hesitate over should be drilled thoroughly. It is very useful to do all this quite quickly, and then come back and repeat it all after a gap of several hours or the next day, as that is the real test of whether you have learned the outlines sufficiently, or whether they are merely hanging out in your short-term memory. If you do several passages in one session, there will be less temptation to memorize them, and then, when you come back to them later on, you may be pleasantly surprised at the speed increase that is possible. These count as easy successes, but that confidence can be carried over into other, more difficult passages, as it will have proved to you that your hand can actually write fast, just as long as the mind can supply the correct outlines at the rate required. This is entirely different from other dictations, where you take unknown matter, full of alarming, new and difficult words, with the aim of testing your ability to survive. In the race for speed increase, it is easy to forget the great importance of compact and neat writing. Outlines tend to get larger and more sprawling as the stress increases. It feels like fast writing, but this is an illusion. You are merely laying down twice as much ink per outline, skating over twice the amount of paper, and using up twice as many notepad lines, for no particular increase in speed or accuracy. A determined attempt to neaten up the wild stuff needs to be made, as it will not magically happen on its own. You might wish to follow the advice of former high-speed champion Emily D. Smith, who suggested making the effort to write smaller instead of bigger at such times. It does seem to work, as long as the pen or pencil can still show the details, and a coarse nib or blunt pencil will not do. It requires a determined frame of mind, but like anything else in life, the more you do it, the more automatic it becomes. I hope you are persevering towards mastering all the common words. The outlines that you know the best and can write the fastest should be the ones that occur most often. This is the key to speed increase, as you cannot afford to hesitate in the slightest over such a large proportion of the words in every passage. Working with short, simple passages is the ideal introduction to higher speed attempts, dipping the toe in the water, wading in slowly, and gaining increased confidence without undue stress. However, a sense of urgency when writing must be maintained to prevent complacency. It is helpful to read through several times, practicing some of the outlines, or writing in the facility drill pages provided. This smooths the path for the subsequent dictations, as by then you will know the outlines. Such a dictation is to accustom the hand to flowing writing, rather than test how you cope with new matter. Short paragraphs are an ideal way to ease yourself into a faster dictation, as there is no stress build-up. An effective way to prepare is to break down the practicing into single sentences. Pick out and drill any new outlines before starting, so that there are no hesitations. Read and remember one sentence, then say it out loud, over and again, as you write it in shorthand, filling half a notepad page. Repeat this for the next sentence, filling the next half. It is important to hear the words as you are writing, so that the sound always triggers recall of the outline. Delay reading back your take of the whole passage until you have forgotten the text, as this is the real test of whether your shorthand is up to scratch or not. It is important to take lots of short breaks between practicing spurts, walking away from the desk to give fingers, eyes, mind and limbs a rest, even if only for a minute or two. You don't have to calculate what the dictation speed is. All that is necessary is that you are under some pressure to keep up, but can still maintain flowing and readable outlines. Going from stressed scrawl to confident outlines at the same speed is a major achievement in itself. Practice segments individually until you are confident about the whole passage. Then, after a break, take it down. If you do this from book shorthand passages, you will always have correct shorthand to check yourself against, and that is the route to keeping your outlines correct at all times and not guessed at. It is important to remember that an artificially easy passage, either specially written or one that you have practiced many times, will give you an artificially high figure, which may drop when you take a normal, unseen passage with no editing to remove obstacles. However, having become used to flying along the lines of your page, you will then not be satisfied with any other way of writing